Testing. Cool. All right, good. That worked. Good morning, Drexel Dragons. It's good to see everyone. And I just wanted to mention that we also are going to be greeting folks who are watching us remotely. And apparently we have at least 25. So that's another great group of military student Welcome Week event. I'm Rebecca Weidensall, and I've been looking forward to this event for months, and so have my colleagues. And so we're glad this day is finally here. As always, I have many people to thank, and we have a really awesome day ahead of us. So first, I wanted to acknowledge all of our new students and thank you for choosing Drexel University. We know. Come on in, keep coming in, and please feel free to sit down front. That'll make it feel a little bit more intimate in this really big space. We know that making a decision to come to Drexel was a really serious decision, and given all of the sacrifices that you've made to get to this point, we appreciate that you've chosen Drexel to be your next mission. So on behalf of all of my colleagues, please accept our warmest welcome. And we're really here to serve you now. So at this time, I'd just like to ask all of our new students if you could please stand, and we'd like to acknowledge you. Awesome. Believe it or not, you will probably end up getting to know each other really well, and there are a lot of great events that we have planned for you in the year ahead, and there's the Veterans Lounge and the Drexel Veterans Association, and this is your new family, basically. And we've been running the Yellow Ribbon program since 2009, so this is our 10th anniversary. And I'm happy to report, as a side note, we still have alumni that we stay in touch with, people who met each other here as fellow students and veterans and dependents who go on to be great friends, and their families too. So this really is a community. I want to just thank admissions, the team from admissions, for getting you off to a great start. And it can be a complicated process, I realize that. So we hope that you had a really positive experience. And it would not be possible to have today's event without a few special people, including Jess Wisniewski, who you'll hear from in a bit, John Dorr, Bryant Morris, who are our certifying officials, and Mackenzie Luke and Kate Delengowski, who are behind the scenes running this whole entire week. So I hope that many of you are going to be joining us this afternoon, going down to Pannoni and Associates, where you'll get to meet Jessica Viscoso and Marvin Johnson and the team down at Pannoni. Mr. Pannoni is an alum of Drexel. He has served as an interim president. He's been on our board, and he hires veterans. And while his firm is professional engineering, he hires sociologists, business people, and the idea of taking that field trip this afternoon is really to begin with the end in mind, and that is to find employment. So the Pannoni folks will have a number of their veterans that work for Pannoni there to meet and greet you and tell you some of their stories about transitioning from military careers to civilian careers. The building itself is just spectacular. We're going to take a shuttle from right out front here down to 1900 Market. It also makes a great walk, but we'll be greeted by the Pannoni Associates group, and then you'll have a reception and a tour of the building. They have a beautiful koi pond. And the business just has a really beautiful story. It's a family business. So I just wanted to talk that up for a bit. And then you're going to meet some of the members of the Veterans Task Force at lunch. Some of them will be doing a presentation for you in a few minutes. So I just wanted to acknowledge them as well. They are stakeholders year-round, year after year. So if the Veterans Task Force or Veterans Academic Advisors could please stand at this time so that you can begin to figure out who they are and also acknowledge their great work. Many of them brought SWAG, which is an acronym for stuff we give away. And so each year we have a SWAG Mart, and you're free to take all of that gear that's out there and start to build your blue and gold repertoire. So we love gear at Drexel. And it's just definitely cool to have some dragon stuff and be able to show your pride and feel like one of us. And then we will also have a number of alumni and community members who are part of veteran service organizations, or like Fern Billett from the VA, tabling with us during lunch, and more of the Veterans Task Force will be joining us. So the city is really a military-friendly city, and the network is pretty incredible. It's kind of a small world in Philadelphia, and everyone is all about helping each other out. And speaking of military-friendly, I also wanted to mention that we have our professor of military science with us, Lieutenant Colonel James Hannigan, and we have over 100 ROTC cadets, Army ROTC, and they just celebrated their 100th anniversary at Drexel. So, sir, we're glad to have you with us and your colleagues. So Drexel's a great place. Philadelphia's a great place. Please make the most of it. And when you face challenges or there are opportunities and you want some support, people to talk to, we're here for you. I think everyone who signed in got a packet, okay, and it's filled with information. I wanted to just mention that today's agenda is on the left side, so there is a minor change. Our provost is going to be joining us after the panel around 11:45 before we have lunch. But if you want to just make note of the schedule, I'll do my best to keep everyone on time. And then right underneath the schedule, you'll see all the fall reminders, things like Warrior Wednesdays, which is an opportunity for all of us to get together at the Vet Lounge for lunch the last Wednesday of every month. So this first Warrior Wednesday is going to be on September 25th over at the Vet Lounge. When we do our tour with you after lunch, one of the pit stops is going to be the Veterans Lounge, and your Drexel ID will get you into that space. We have the Military Community Creative Writing Workshop that's coming up. We did one this summer, which was surprisingly fun and interesting, and I think we all realize that there's a writer in all of us, so I hope that you will make note of that, and of course there's a dinner associated with that at no cost. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention things like priority registration, which is also in your packet on that first page at the bottom, October 28th and 29th. There's a career fair coming up, and then in November we have at least 5 events in honor of our military students and families. So, as you can see, there are lots of ways to get involved, get to know people. We really hope that this is a great experience for you as you transition from military and utilizing all of the great experience that you have to differentiate you in the classroom, make you really competitive for co-op positions, and just position you well for life. So, without further delay, I would like to start our presentation, our formal presentation, and I couldn't think of 2 more important people to begin this presentation than our certifying officials. John Dorr, who's the Assistant Director of Veteran Student Services, and Bryant Morris, the Associate Director for Drexel Central. Please give them a warm welcome. All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Bryant Morris. I'm, like Rebecca said, the Associate Director of Drexel Central, as well as a certifying official. I want to first thank you all for your service. Again, I can't say too much. I just want to thank you. Today, we're just going to go over a couple talking points. As Rebecca said, being veterans or dependents of veterans, you have priority registration, which is so important. Basically, it puts you out there with honor students as well as the athletes, making sure that you get the classes that you need to utilize your benefits effectively. We do start certifying as soon as you guys start registering. So week 6, we'll notice that you register because that first day, 200 people start registering. We start our process with the VA, trying to get you guys paid as soon as possible. With that, couple of things, and John will touch on these things a little bit in a sec, is that once we certify you, we do like a pre-cert where we'll basically put the first amount of credits that you did the first couple days. You don't have to contact us after that to let us know, hey, you updated your credits. We'll pull that after week 1. So, you don't have to contact us and say, hey, I changed my courses. We'll update that automatically. But there's a couple other things John's going to talk about as far as co-op, how we do those things with registration, and he's going to bring some other points to the front. So I'm not going to take too much of the time. I'm going to bring John up and let him address you guys. But again, thank you for your service.
Okay, good morning. Like Brian said, thank you for your service. As school certifying officials, the biggest key is that we're here to make sure that your benefits get processed and, like Brian said, that you get paid. And one of the things that to take advantage of, like Rebecca said, is that priority enrollment, because once you priority enroll, we see it, we can start that certification process with the VA, and that way you guys can start to receive your benefits on time for the upcoming term. Some of the other things that we want to talk about is, hey, where are we located? We're in Drexel Central. Sorry, I like to pace around a lot. We're in Drexel Central in Suite 106. That's 3141 Chestnut Street, the main building, as a lot of people call it. Our contact information is up there. I highly suggest you take it down. We're either a phone call or an email away. We're really quick to get back to you if you have any questions regarding your benefits or whether you're going to change programs, because there are several benefit programs that are out there that you're going to be using. Some of you are using your post 9/11. Some of you are Chapter 31, Voc Rehab. Some of you are 1606, Select Reserve. There's a small group that are left of the Montgomery Chapter 30 GI, or Montgomery GI Bill Chapter 30 benefits, but they're your benefits, they're your entitlements, and make sure that you have the most up-to-date information. And one of the best ways outside of us is to stay in touch with va.gov. Go to va.gov. That's places where you can check to see how many benefits you have remaining, because that's one of the biggest questions that Bryant and I always get. I have no clue how many benefits, because you want to maximize your entitlements and make sure that you have a plan for success. So having that plan for success can put you there. Making sure you have enough benefits to cover what your plan of study is now or what your plans could be in the future. Because some of you right now might not know what you want to do 10 years from now, and it may change. And these entitlements are yours, and you could use them in a variety of different ways. So making sure that you're on top of that. If you don't go on va.gov to check your benefits, you could always, hey, John, can you contact the VA and find out how many benefits I have remaining? That's not a problem. We want to make sure that you're up to date and we're up to date, because that affects the way we process our certifications. Do we have another slide or not? Okay. There are some of the benefits that we were talking about, whether you're using Voc Rehab, post 9/11 GI Bill, the yellow ribbon portion of it. I want to touch on that yellow ribbon because I do get a lot of questions regarding that. Yellow ribbon is automatic here if you meet the criteria. There is no application, there is no set dollar amount, and there is no set amount of students like other schools and other universities. So our yellow ribbon program that we've had for 10 years here now is fantastic. It's one of the best in the country. So you guys are going to take advantage of that, and it's awesome. Active duty and spouses of active duty aren't currently allowed to use yellow ribbon because they're not qualified, but with the Forever GI Bill kicking in, and I think it's 2022, they're going to be brought into the yellow ribbon program. Yellow ribbon, it basically works once you hit the cap's up there, $24,476.79. You usually hit that within your second term here. Yellow ribbon kicks in, Drexel and VA split your tuition and fees 50-50. So great program. So that's the magic number this year. We don't certify over co-op for post 9/11 GI Bill recipients because you're not maximizing your entitlement, because you're only charged the university fee. You're not charged tuition while you're on co-op. However, some students may want to utilize those benefits during co-op, i.e. to get their housing money or part of their book stipend. You need to notify us in writing because our policy right now is don't certify unless you tell us in writing, and then we can. All the other benefits we will certify on co-op unless you notify us that you don't want to certify under co-op. Full-time for undergraduates considered 12 credit hours. For graduate level, it's 9 credit hours. The reason I say that is because those of you that are receiving housing allowances, that's the magic number to get the full rate. If you go half-time or less, you're not going to receive housing allowance. If you're half-time or more, you'll receive a prorated portion of your housing allowance. Online students, I just wrote down the number. For those of you exclusively online, the new housing rate is $894.50, so it actually went up from $825 last year. Full rate BAH here is now is $2142 for this academic year, because that's another question I receive a lot of. Let's see. Bryant already touched on, we start the pre-certification process as soon as you enroll. Let's see. I think I pretty much touched on everything that I wanted to go over. Oh, no. Adding and dropping courses, there may be a financial impact where you either owe Drexel back the money or you owe the VA money. So be careful and be aware when you actually have a change in status like that 12 and 9, the 12 for undergrad and 9, because everything starts to change and then debts can be incurred. So just be a little bit observant of those numbers when you're doing your adding and dropping or withdrawing from courses. Oh yeah, VA work study. We do have a program with the VA work study. If you're receiving any of the VA education benefits, you can apply for VA work study. The application process is quite simple. You fill out the application online with the VA, send it into the VA. They'll take a look at how you're registered and how many credits, and they can determine whether there's a need here and basically send you a hours you may be able to work. As a VA work study, you can work in Drexel Central, you can work in the Veterans Lounge, and some of our outside agencies and some of the other colleges that request help. As a VA work study, the biggest benefit of it, sure, you're paid minimum wage, however, it's a tax-free benefit. So as students, you want to also show that you're making some income, but you don't have to necessarily report it because it's a tax-free benefit of yours. Once we receive the contract from the VA, we let you know that, hey, you've been approved for work study, come on in, we'll do some orientation, and then we'll figure out where we can use you. We have how many this term? 7? 7 this term. So we have 2 new ones. But the opportunity's out there. The application process is all on va.gov. You fill out the application, you submit it, and then they send it to Bryant and I. I think that's pretty much all we got. If you have questions or concerns, need to get a card off of Bryant or I, you can hit us up after everybody gives their presentations, and we'll be around. That's about it, right? I think I hit the wrong button. Okay.
All right, so we're going to bring up Rebecca Signor.
Yep, Rebecca's up next. Take care.
I love a good clicker. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to Drexel. My name is Rebecca Signor. I'm the director of the Center for Learning and Academic Success Services. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do as an office and some of the other ways and resources that are available to help you be as academically successful as possible, as that is the goal. We want to do well once we're here, right? So, there we go. Class is a learning center. We provide a number of different services and programs for students. I'm going to highlight a couple of the really popular ones and sort of the more broad-reaching programs. We have 2 locations. Are any of you primarily in Center City? You're going to come in for the College of Nursing and Health Professions, perhaps? No, not a bunch? Maybe 1 or 2? Okay, good. So we have a location in the Center City that is staffed 5 days a week. We open at 8 a.m. We close around 5. Sometimes in the evenings we're open till 7. At that location, which is in the new college building on the first floor, you will find tutors for the College of Nursing and Health Profession. You will also find tutors for the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences and Professional Studies if you are eventually going to get into that program. So that's what's happening in Center City. In University City, we are located in the Crease Student Center on the garden level, which is the basement, which is also where the Veterans Lounge is. So we're right down the hall, sort of opposite of the Veterans Lounge. So we're really accessible if you're using that space as well. And that is a space, again, that's open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Students are welcome to come in and just use that space as study space. We have tables that, there's outlets so you can plug in, which is always a big thing for students. So you can kind of use that. We have a lot of whiteboard space if you're sort of working through some problems or you want to sketch some stuff out, when you're studying. That space is available for you to use. You just swipe in, check in with AVT, and then use it as sort of a study hall space. So our primary services, I had mentioned the tutoring. The tutoring that class provides, again, is primarily for the College of Nursing and Health Profession, the Dornsife School of Public Health, so if you're in one of those programs, and also for the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences and Professional Studies. The program that is very popular and that we offer to all students, full-time, part-time, face-to-face, online, is our academic coaching. Academic coaching is designed to assist students with their learning skills, their study habits, and behaviors. And so it's a way to sit with someone and strategize around your learning. We work with students on a number of different topics, and really the students as they come in guide those conversations. But the most popular topic is time management, shocking absolutely nobody. So we talk a lot about time management, organization, and goal setting, so some executive functioning kind of strategies that help you to be successful in your coursework. And then we do a lot of work around study strategies, test preparation, test-taking behaviors, note-taking, reading strategies. It runs the gamut. So it's a popular service for a couple of reasons. If you have been out of school for a while, it's nice to come in and kind of check in around those things. We have students that we meet with, bi-weekly, every other week, a couple times a month. We have students that we meet with weekly so that they have that sort of constant accountability, but also they're constantly working and striving to work on their metacognitive skills, their learning strategies. So however you choose to use it, that resource is available for you. Coaching is available in 2 ways. It's available with peer academic coaches. The peer academic coaches, of whom we have both undergraduate and graduate students who serve in this role, those are students just like you. They've done well academically. They're currently enrolled here at Drexel. And so they are, for lack of a better word, in the trenches as a student, and they can tell you what it's like to go through a quarter system and how to strategize around that. They can tell you what it's like to manage, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 credits. They can help you with that because they're living it right now. You can also meet with our professional staff. So professional academic coaching is available. Again, students choose what they are most comfortable with. And the professional staff will do much the same work. We aren't necessarily all students anymore. Some of us have been out of school for a couple years. But we're available as well to work with you on that. So please know that all of our services, our coaching and our tutoring, they're both by appointment. The tutoring and the peer academic coaching can be scheduled online in Drexel One under the Academics tab. You'll find a link for something called Academia, and that's where you'll make those appointments. And then the professional academic coaching, I'm going to have a slide that maybe has our email address. If you email academicsuccess@drexel.edu and you say, hey, I heard a presentation, they talked about this professional academic coaching thing, we'll get you attached to one of our coaches and on the schedule. So those are your sort of 2 options. The other thing that you'll find in your packet that you were given today is a list of our fall workshops. So we offer a workshop series every fall, winter, and spring. The topics are similar to what you'll see happening in academic coaching. The first one is time management. We really do spend a lot of time on that. So you'll find that there's a listing, and those happen every other week. On this campus, they start in week 3. In Center City, we offer them week 2, 4, and 6. On this campus, it's weeks 3, 5, and 7. It's also offered online. So for those of you that are online students primarily, or the schedule conflicts with when you have other obligations, but you want to get the information, you can join us for one of our online workshops as well. Those online workshops and the face-to-face workshops are all on the list in your packet if you have the packet. If you don't have the packet or you're at a distance, you can always visit our website. They're always kind of kept up to date on there, and that's drexel.edu/class. Sort of easy to remember website for you. So that's the general overview of the services that the Center for Learning and Academic Success Service provides. But please know, we are not the only resource available to support your learning. In fact, there are a lot of places and spaces on this campus where there are folks ready, willing, and able to help. There's a lot of tutoring. Outside of the tutoring that class provides, for example, there is a math resource center. How many of you are taking math? Okay, if my hand were raised right now, I would be seeking them out immediately because I wasn't the best math student. But the Math Resource Center. There's a Writing Center. Writing Center works with anybody who is writing in any class. It does not have to be an English course. You can be writing a lab report in chemistry, and you can seek help from the Writing Center. So they'll help you at any stage in your writing, so they're available. There's chemistry help. There's some support around business work. There's the Academic Center for Engineers, which provides engineering for engineering coursework, or provides tutoring for engineering coursework, not engineering for engineering coursework. So there's a number of places. There's a website here at the bottom. Hopefully you can see it. It's drexel.edu/learningalliance. We are not all located in the same building. There's not a building big enough to hold us on this campus. So if you go to that website, what you'll find is a full listing of resources and learning spaces. And you can click on those. You can see their hours. You can see where they're located on campus, what building they're in, contact information like their phone number or their email address. In addition to the tutoring and learning support services, there's other really important, and you're going to hear from a couple of them, really important offices that are listed on here. Offices like the libraries and disability resources, the Center for Scholar Development. There are places, again, they support your learning, they help you to be academically successful in a variety of ways. So that website is sort of a landing space for you to then navigate the landscape of academic support here at Drexel. And there's a lot of it. So, and if you are ever confused, uncertain, or can't find something, feel free to reach out to class, again, academicsuccess@drexel.edu, and say, hey, I think there's something maybe for computer science students that's tutoring. There is. Let me tell you about the Cyber Learning Center. We're happy to act as sort of navigators for you in that way. I think that's pretty much everything for me. I now am going to bring up Vanessa Cohn, who's going to talk about disability resources.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. As Rebecca said, my name is Vanessa Cohen. I work in Disability Resources, which is housed within the Office of Equality and Diversity here on campus. Before I begin, I'm just going to kind of give a brief intro to disability resources. So currently we work with about 1,500 students, and that's across all different majors and programs that we've got here at Drexel, including undergraduate students, graduate students, those enrolled in the medical and law schools, in addition to online learners. The disability resources accommodations that we offer to students is something that's not unique to Drexel. So all universities that receive federal funds are required to provide these types of supports in accordance with the Disabilities Act. And so that's just a little bit about our office, but I do want to provide a little bit more information. So in terms of our mission is to provide equal opportunity and equal access to education, employment, programs and activities for all individuals with disabilities here at Drexel. So that includes employees, so faculty and staff with disabilities. They can also come to our office and register for accommodations. Personally, I oversee student accommodations, and so that's what I'm going to focus on during this presentation. So in our office, we work with individuals who present with a disability. So that's a condition that has lasted for at least 6 months or longer and limits major life activity. So that can include chronic health and physical conditions, psychiatric conditions, learning disabilities, attention deficits. These are just a few of the examples. But if there's ever a concern or question as to whether or not a condition meets the level of disability, that's definitely where we want you to come into our office so that we can have a discussion about that. We work one-on-one with students to get a better sense of what types of supports they need and how their condition serves as a barrier to certain, certain things on campus, whether it's access to certain buildings or access to certain programs. And so during that one-on-one time, that's where we will try and get a little bit more of an understanding about how your condition impacts you. In order to register with our office, we do require that students complete what we call a request form. And so the request form it asks for a little bit more of background information, and we do ask you to disclose your disability type. We also ask for accompanying medical documentation. So now that is dependent on what your condition is. For a lot of our student veterans who are registered with our office, most of their documentation is submitted from the VA. If you don't have the proper paperwork, or again, if you're unsure if accommodations are right for you, please do still stop by our office. We have walk-in hours every day from 1 to 2. You can meet with one of our staff to get a little bit more of an understanding as to how we could, potentially support you. That being said, a big piece of our conversation with students is confidentiality. So all documentation that is received by our office is held within our office, and no one else has access to that information. It's not indicated on your transcripts that you're registered with Disability Resources. We can't even talk to, parent, guardian, or spouse or significant other without your consent. So we are held to really strict guidelines in Disability Resources. If you are interested in knowing more about our process, like I said, I'll be here after the session. Our office is only a few blocks away across from the beach volleyball court. And then we have walk-in hours every day from 1 to 2. We also have a lot of information on our website, so you can go to drexel.edu/disability. You can email us, call us, or like I said, stop by. We're always more than happy to speak with you and see how we can, best support you both in and outside of the classroom. So I believe that's all the information I wanted to cover, but like I said, if anyone has any questions or wants to speak with me one-on-one, I'll be here and I'll be more than happy to speak with you. So thank you for your service and welcome to Drexel. And next up is Elise.
Hi, everyone. My name's Elise Fair. Welcome to Drexel. I'm really happy that you're here. I'm happy that you've taken the time to learn about the resources we have on campus to support you. And one of those resources is the library. So I'm going to talk about the ways we support students. And first of all, my name is Elise Fair. I am the general librarian for undergraduates here at Drexel. I also help with what we call information assistance. So I think about the things that we provide coming in 3 distinct areas. We provide access to you to information, and that can be books, that can be ebooks, that can be articles online, any other online content. In engineering, we provide a lot of standards. I always think about that when I'm talking about engineering. So any content you need to complete your coursework, that you need to help you in your academic pursuits here at Drexel. We also provide space. We have 4 locations and provide space for you to learn, to study, to work with others, to pursue your academic pursuits here at Drexel. And then also we provide support. So support in finding the information you need, that access, that the things you need to help you in your coursework, and help using that, finding it, and accessing it. So first of all, this is kind of, the way I think about our services. So we have 4 distinct locations. Our location on this campus, our main location is Haggerty. It's across the street from the Dragon statue, across the street from the Rec Center. That is a great place to come in, to study, to seek support. It also has a 24/7 space attached to it. We have a lot of great services in that building and also in our Center City location, which is in the new college building. Then we also have a location out at the med school. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Library Learning Terrace. That is a location we have up near the dorms as well. So if you're up in that direction, you also have a space to go. Now, what we provide at Haggerty specifically, things you might want to take advantage of while you're on this campus. We have not only books, but we also have services for printing in that building. We will check laptops out to you. We also have now power banks we will check out to you. So if you need to plug something in, just have your cable, you can check out a power bank and plug in right to that. Also connected to Haggerty is our Dragons Learning Den. That's our 24/7 space. So at least on this campus, that's our 24/7 space. We also have one in the new college building. But in that space, after our main building closes at 2 a.m., you can enter and use that space. That space also has access to laptops, to those power banks, and also some other technology. So screens you can use to practice presentations. We've used them in the past to put up posters. If you're putting together a poster for something, you can look at it large before it's printed using those screens. Other things, and groups come in and use that space as well. The other thing we have in Haggerty that you'll probably want to know about, or I think is a best kept secret, you can reserve a study room right in Haggerty, also in our Center City location. Just by going on our website, reserve a room, and reserve something to use for group study, for group projects, things like that. Also, I will say about our website, that is the best place to go to get access to anything we have. And that includes information about our space, academic support, people like myself, and also access to everything we provide you as a Drexel student. And if you find something through our website, or you find something somewhere else that you'd like to access, that you need for your coursework, please reach out to us. We have a chat box on our website. You can always reach out to me or one of my colleagues. You can even walk into one of our spaces and say, hey, I need some support with this. Can you help me? Can you help me with this? And that's what we do. That's what we provide you. So if you see something that you need access to, please let us know. We will try and find it for you. If we don't have it, we will look for it somewhere else. We will maybe reach out to another school for it. If it's a book, we may ask you to request it through Easy Borrow. If it's an article, probably we'll ask you to request it through Iliad. Those are both services to get information from other schools or from other libraries elsewhere. And then in terms of academic support, we provide subject specialist librarians who work with all the schools and colleges. So depending on what you're studying, there's a librarian who knows the information resources in that area and can help you find them and can help you use them. So I want to welcome you to Drexel. That was a quick overview of what we do in the libraries, but I really want you to know that we're here to support you, and please, if there's something you need, reach out to us. We're here to provide that support. Also, myself, I'm also connected to the Learning Alliance that Rebecca was talking about. So if we don't provide it, we will try and point you to the person who does on this campus. One thing I've been asked for this week over and over is writing. So I would point someone toward the Writing Center because that is a place where they can receive that writing help. Another question I do want to mention before, as I'm wrapping up, people have been asking me this week, are these services free? Do you have to pay for anything? All the services, except for printing, are free. So if you need to check out a laptop, if you need to check out a power bank, any information you need for your courses, they're part of your Drexel tuition. They're part of what you're getting as a Drexel student. So please, please take advantage of them and use them. And thank you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here today. And next we have Greg Law from Steinbright.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks so much for choosing Drexel. Thank you for your service. We're just so glad to have everybody here. My name is Greg Law. I am the Assistant Director for employer relations at the Steinbrück Career Development Center. So I'm sure some of you have heard about our co-op program, hopefully, probably, right? So basically, my team and I, we work with the companies to offer the co-op jobs. So over at the Career Development Center, we have my team, there's myself, and I have 2 coordinators. So we are going out there every day, getting more and more companies to post co-op jobs for all of you. And then we have a few dozen co-op advisors. Anybody who does co-op will be connected with a co-op advisor. We have a career services team who work on jobs for seniors who are about to graduate, recent alumni, people who are in pre-health and pre-law. There's also an advisor for freshmen, which I think is one of my points there, the first-year counselor right in the middle there. Her name's Emily. So for the freshmen, there's an actual specific counselor for you. We have our co-op faculty. We're right over at 32nd and Arch. So don't be shy, come on over, meet your advisors. They are here to help. So everyone who does co-op takes Co-op 101, takes a co-op preparation course where you're given instruction and help and training on building a resume, interview skills, mock interviews, how to search for jobs, all that great stuff. But for our military-affiliated population and our veterans, we do offer, instead of a 10-week course, a Co-op Essentials course. It's a bit of an abridged course. I think it's 6 weeks long instead of 10. We do recognize that our student veterans have more experience than our 18-year-olds coming out of high school. So we do try and cater the class to that population, talk more about transitioning, talk more about taking your military resume and putting it into a civilian resume format, trying to take some of the military jargon and put it into civilian phrases that your hiring managers will understand, which is tough. It could be a challenge. Like, we totally get it. And we are here for you to help with that. So it's a really great course. I'm sure a lot of you will be a part of it, the Co-op Essentials. The general co-op program, I'm sure you know a lot about it already, but if you're a 4-year student, you'll go on co-op usually your junior year, so either the spring, summer, or fall, winter of your junior year. If you're going to be a 5-year student, it's those middle 3 years, your sophomore, the pre-junior, what we call the 3rd year, and the 4th year, the junior year. You'll alternate, and you'll have a 6-month co-op with 2 quarters of class alternating. So when you graduate, you will have 18 months of work experience, putting yourself way ahead of all of your peer competition. I mentioned the first-year counselor. Her name's Emily. And then we also have Helene Stockman-Bear, who works with our seniors and graduating seniors, and some recent alumni too. So there's someone to help you out all along the way from freshman year, and then during those middle years with your co-op advisor, and then your senior year with Helene. So there's help along the way. Our career fairs, we have 3 main career fairs each year. Come this year, even if it's your first year, please come, check it out, see what it's going to be like, see what the atmosphere is like, prepare yourself, make connections, network. It's in the past, it's been 1 day for fall. This year we're rolling out a new program, a new career fair. It's a 3-day career fair, October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It'll be at the Drexel Center, not that far, the block or so behind us. So come check it out. The first 2 days are going to be STEM-related fields and industries, and then the 3rd day will be more business and arts and sciences. So the Thursday, the 3rd, will be the business, arts, and sciences. Then we have a career fair in spring, our spring career fair, and then which is usually April-ish. And FYI, the career fairs are usually always like about 2 to 3 weeks before the A-round application window for co-op. So about 2 or 3 weeks before you're applying for your co-op jobs, you can go to the career fair, and there will be lots of companies there who have jobs posted. So you can learn about them. They're going to be pitching you all their jobs. So it's really well timed. So the spring career fair, usually in April, and then we also run a technology and engineering career fair in the winter as well. So definitely come out and take advantage of all these things. You can get LinkedIn, professional headshot usually, meet all kinds of great employers. Then at the Steinberg Career Development Center, we can also help get you connected with workshops and professional organizations, again, through co-op advisors, pre-health, pre-law, career and education counseling. We can get you guys hooked up with the Office of Veteran Student Services. The Greater Philadelphia Veterans Network, which is a local nonprofit, provides year-round workshops and networking events for veterans. The Student Veterans of America. The DVA here, the Drexel Veterans Association, of course, Drexel Veterans Alumni Network, Drexel Veterans Colleague Resource Group, Drexel Dependents, and then, of course, the Drexel Veterans Task Force, who meets every month, multiple times per month, to come up with creative ways to help our veteran and military-connected communities and population be connected with industry, with other support and community efforts around the city. So please read the emails from Rebecca with tons of information. They will get sent out to you. Please read them. They have so much information. Come to the events. I'm here. I have your attention and audience. Please come to the events. Like, we put on such great stuff. Employers are dying to come here and talk with our veteran population, talk with our military-affiliated population. They're not going to just come and just talk about why their company is so great. You can find that out on the website. I'm sure they will, but they want to share their stories. They want to share their experiences and like why working for them has benefited their life. So we'll be having employers come to the Veterans Lounge. So please read the emails from Rebecca. Come to our events. I think you'll really enjoy them. That's pretty much it. That's my phone number. My email is grl38 at drexel.edu. I'll be around during lunch if you have questions. Thanks so much. Okay. Well.
All right, so you get two of us today. My name is Noelle Palladino. I am the Associate Director for Advising for the College of Engineering.
My name is John Rance. I'm a Senior Academic Advisor at the Goodwin College of Professional Studies.
So John and I kind of tag team with this because we work very closely together, especially within the fall term. If you have any students in the audience that are in the military transition program, you're going to be advised by John's office. John, Amy, or Josh may be your academic advisor. I work with engineering students, but I think I know enough about academic advising that I can speak to any student in the room, no matter what your program is. Just a little bit about what an academic advisor is. Most students are kind of unsure as to what kind of services we provide, so that's what we'll go over. All right, so we have a mission statement. That's the Drexel University Academic Advising Mission Statement, but really, what does that mean? It basically just means that your academic advisor is here for you. We're going to help get you through, obviously, with your classes, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. You're here to take classes. You're here to get a degree at the end of the day. But, you know, there's all those things that come into a quarter that are not just about your classes. So we're just here to provide support. I think, I don't know about John, but in the first term, I feel like I'm Google. Like, I have a student comes in and, you know, they're like, I don't know where to go for this. And I'm like, all right, well, let's type in Drexel and the words that you just said. And then we come up with an answer, right? I mean, that's basically what an academic advisor does in the first couple of weeks. I mean, we just act as kind of like a web search engine. That is not to say that you should just do it on your own. I feel like I'm not providing my service correctly by saying that. But, you know, there's a lot of resources here. So you're hearing about all the things that, you know, everyone is up here talking about, all of the resources that are available to you. And you're going to have all these pieces of paper that you're not going to carry with you all day long, right? I mean, you're not going to carry it with you through the term. So at some point in time, you're going to be like, I'm going to talk to my academic advisor about this. So, you know, we are really kind of like resource referrals for quite a while in the first few weeks of the term. You know, we're obviously here to talk about your classes, get you set up with a schedule, but, you know, we will refer you out for quite a few things and we'll help you get to the right resource, because while we have a ton of resources, which I think is amazing, and I think, you know, everyone here, we're just a really great, caring group, sometimes it's hard to determine which office you go to for which thing you're maybe struggling with or want help with or just want a question answered. So I would say, John, am I correct?
Yeah,
the first?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
I don't want to keep talking.
Sure, I'll jump in. I think, yeah, that makes the most sense, I would say, is that, like, your first point of reference is usually, you know, your advisor. as Noel mentioned, there is a very strong network in here, and your first term or two, you want to establish and build that network, because that network is here to support you. And so if you don't know where to go, you at least you can always start with your advisor. So first point of reference, I guess, is what I would say. So some more technical things we wanted to talk about, like registration. Obviously, 3 important weeks, I guess, to remember that I tell students. Week 1, add drop. You can add and drop a class, and it's not on your record. If you drop the class, it's like it never happened. Week 6, that is when registration opens for the following term. That Monday of week 6 is always when you have priority registration. That's the first day. That means that morning you can register first. That's huge. Just to be able to build your schedule and get into certain classes is very helpful. Also, with certifying, that helps as well. So it's better to plan ahead and register first. You always want to do that. What else? Planning, obviously, this is the same thing. That's where we come in. You would work with your advisor on how you would plan ahead for the year. And you can do that. The term master schedule has the entire academic year listed, all 4 terms. So you can plan for the whole year if you want, which is a smart thing to do. Major, minor co-ops. We know there's a couple different co-ops. You're not set in stone, but a lot of you will bring in some transfer credit. So, use that obviously as a determination on when, selecting which, I guess, one to have. Majors and minors. We have so many majors and so many minors, it's kind of crazy. I feel like we have almost every major except for like social work, maybe. I don't know. There's over 120 minors. If you look on the catalog, it's a good resource too, the Drexel catalog. The catalog is the official place where all programs at Drexel are listed. You can check that at any time in it. It'll list all the majors, all the minors. They're all just listed alphabetically or by college. The support resources, I think, Rebecca and a couple other people went over some of that, but if you have questions about that, at least start with us if you don't know where to go. Instructor concerns. Do you want to go?
Sure, I'll jump
Okay.
in. So I would say so I work with transfer students as well, and most of you as veterans come in with some sort of credits from your JST or whatever it is. Professors love transfer students and they love veterans because you're a refreshing change from an 18-year-old. I'm just going to say it. Especially within engineering, we brought in, I think, about 620 new first-time students, so that's what we're calling freshmen at this point. So you obviously know you're going to stand out a little bit. You should use that to your advantage. That would be my advice to you. Introduce yourself. I think that you will find that you'll have probably some pretty good conversations. I don't know that I've ever really had a real dire situation with a student and an instructor that honestly wasn't easily resolved with just a conversation. So you're adults, more than adults. You should go ahead and, always speak with your professor first. But yes, definitely, as John said, use us, use your academic advisor. What's the best way to approach, this particular situation? I mean, that is what we're here for, and we want to make sure that, we're providing that sort of advice. Again, we're not just data crunchers. We don't just add your schedule in. So please make sure that when you're looking at this, there's so many more things that, an advisor does. And I feel like I'm talking too long, so I'm going to stop and we're going to move on. Good, Rebecca? Okay. Okay, so we have Dr. Gellert from Counseling and Health Services.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leon Gellert, and I am one of the staff psychologists here at Drexel. And this is actually my 2nd year and my first time doing this, so it's nice to see all your faces. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Counseling Center, what resources we offer, and I'm also going to talk about the health services, which I'll just be reading off the slide because I don't know too much about it. So that just made me a little bit more anxious, but that's okay. So the mission. Like everyone else, our mission is to help. The Counseling Center does that in similar ways as a lot of the others do. It's a place for you to come in to talk about some things that you're struggling with and to have someone who can kind of help be a mirror, be a guide. Essentially you just have someone that's there that cares about you and helps you kind of achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve. The primary way to get in is to give us a call or to stop in at one of our centers. We have 2 locations. There's one in the Crease Center on Market. The entrance is right by Joe's Coffee, and the other is by the Bellet Building in Center City. You can either come in, you can call. When you do come in or call, you make an appointment with one of the front desk staff, and you make an appointment for what we call a triage service. And the triage service is essentially our way of saying, hey, what's going on? And how can we be helpful? The goal of any triage appointment is to kind of get you connected to the right resources. So some of those resources might be within the counseling center. We do individual therapy, we do group therapy, we do workshops. In your packet, you'll see a whole schedule of this term's workshops. And to sign up for those, all you have to do is say, whoa, almost happened again. You can just say, hey, this is something I'm interested in, we can get you connected right away. In terms of individual therapy, we don't have any session limits. The only thing that we kind of look for is that we have a set goal that we're trying to attain. That can be everything from improving relationships, improving sleep, dealing with stress management. And then what we can also do is help you get connected to resources off campus. So whether that's the VA, the Cohen Clinic, New Beginnings, which are all resources that you've either heard about already or probably will later today. I'm a big believer in therapy. I think we should all be in therapy. Therapy is kind of like going to the gym. Our bodies need that to kind of stay tip-top shape, and therapy is kind of the same way. Even if things are doing well, there are always things that we can continue to be working on and growth we continue to get. So that's my pitch for therapy. So Health Insurance and Immunization Health Center. So the mission is to promote the health and well-being of our community. The university follows the following requirements recommended by the American College of Health Association and CDC. All students must indicate that they are covered by valid health insurance for the entire year, which complies with the standards identified on the SHI page. Students who do not comply by September 30th will be default enrolled into the Aetna plan offered through Drexel. This is done annually. And I was told to inform you that TRICARE and coverage through the VA do count as being covered. And the immunization. All incoming students must comply with the university's immunization requirement and submit their form online as indicated on the SHI webpage. And here are their locations. The University City Campus location is actually right next to us in the Crease building. And something I forgot to mention is that we are confidential. Only time we would ever break confidentiality is if we're concerned that a student was in imminent danger to themselves or to someone else, or if someone under the age of 18 or over the age of 60 was being abused. And of course, if any of that comes up, we always talk about it with the students. And I will be outside during lunch, and if you have any questions, please feel free to come up to me. Thank you.
Good morning. I am not an employee at Drexel, and I'm not here to talk about any Drexel programs. I am from the VA Medical Center. I'm not any kind of an expert on the educational benefits that you heard about. You have experts here, but I'm here to talk about VA healthcare. And I want to thank Rebecca for inviting me because I'm the only non-Drexel person here. We have a great partnership with Drexel University. In fact, one of the programs that Rebecca alluded to earlier coming up in November, we've been planning together, so we hope that you will look forward and participate in that as well. So I just want to give a really quick overview. Big button. So you're really in a great location here at Drexel because our VA Medical Center is literally a few blocks away. It's walking distance. So for those of you who are veterans who have the discharge, the DD-214, I want to encourage you to take advantage of your health care benefits. So we are the Corporal Michael J. Crescenz VA Medical Center at 38th and Woodland, as I said, just a short walk away. And everyone asks, who is Michael Crescenz? So Michael Crescenz is the only Philadelphian to have served in the Vietnam War and received posthumously, to have received the Medal of Honor. And it was a real grassroots effort of a number of people many years ago to rename our medical center in honor of Michael Crescenz. So if you hear Crescenz VA Medical Center, now you know who Michael was. So VA healthcare, you heard it mentioned before, it will suffice for your medical requirements. It is actual healthcare. It is not insurance. And as I said, our medical center is just blocks away, so it's very convenient. We have outpatient and inpatient services, but it is not insurance. Any of you who have TRICARE, you can care and also be enrolled in VA healthcare. It's not an either or. It can be a both. If you're service-connected for anything, any disabilities, your care for that service-connected disability at the VA is going to be connected disability, no charge. If you get care through your TRICARE, there'll probably be a copay, but if it's a service-connected disability and you get the care at the VA, there is no copay. So you have to have a DD-214, have served in the active military in order to be eligible. If you served in the Guard and you were never called up, you're probably not a veteran as is defined federally. But there's an enrollment application form, the 1010EZ. There's nothing, sorry about that. Of course, it's the government, so there's a form. And I have some of these out on the table out in the hallway. You fill that form out, send it in with a copy of your DD-214, or bring it in, which is what I really recommend, and we'll process it. Just real quick, there's been a lot in the news about access. Our access is excellent. We have a same-day walk-in clinic. We have an emergency department that's open 24/7. We have a number you can call to get triaged over the telephone. And then there's after hours also a number that you can call. Starting school can be stressful. If you have a cell phone, please take it out right now and take down this number. This is the Veterans Crisis Line. I'm not kidding. If you have a cell phone, please take down this number, 1-800-273-8255. You may need it someday. You may know someone who needs it someday. A veteran can call, a family member, a friend can call. Please take out your cell phone and put this number in. It can save a life. When you need to have this number, you don't want to be searching for it. 800-273-8255, the Veterans Crisis Line. Suicide prevention is a top priority in the VA. Real quick, another thing I just want to point out, even though we're very conveniently located to Drexel University a couple of blocks away, we also, the VA has been in the forefront of what we call telemedicine, whereby you can actually see a doctor remotely using a device like an iPhone, an iPad, or a computer. And if you have time between classes to have an appointment remotely as opposed to actually walking up to the campus, from the campus to the VA, this can be a time saver, and it is an option as well. Quality, of course, part of the government, we get measured for all kinds of things, and we've been highly rated by our patient population as leader in patient satisfaction with primary care. We've been second place for specialty care satisfaction. Our mortality rates are among the lowest in the country, and our inpatient complication rates also among the lowest. So we've got a great facility right here, right next to your campus. If you have that DD-214, if you served, please, I encourage you, fill out the 1010EZ form. I also have 2 booklets that are available on the table that explain further about VA healthcare. Everything you ever wanted to know is in this booklet, and other information in this one as well. For our women veterans is our fastest growing population enrolling in VA healthcare. We have a women veterans clinic, and I have a card on the table as well to explain services available for our women veterans, and on the back side of the card, a lot of really useful telephone numbers. So I think that's it. All right, so thank you and welcome.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good? Good. At this time, all the panelists can come on up. I'll introduce myself while they're getting settled. I'm Jess Wisniewski. I'm an assistant director on our events and visitor relations team here at Drexel. I recognize a few of you from our Transfer Admitted Students Day events. Thanks for coming back and coming to your welcome session. Awesome to see you. I am also the advisor for the Drexel Veterans Association. That's our student organization here on campus, nationally recognized by the Student Veterans of America. So at this time, we're going to get to take the next 15 to 20 minutes and hear from some of our current students with a panel. I've introduced myself, so if we can go down the line here, starting with Olivia, and maybe just your name, your branch, and what you're studying here at Drexel. Okay, great.
Test, 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 test.
All right, hi everyone. My name's Olivia McDonald. I was in the Marine Corps and I am a business student here at Drexel.
Hello, my name is Philip Forrest. I served 8 years in the Navy and I'm a graduate student at the College of Nursing and Health Professions.
How you doing? My name is Anwar Hassan. I was in the Air Force and I'm doing mechanical engineering.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Stouffer. Did 10 years Navy Corpsman, health science major.
I'm Zach Aries. I was in the Navy, and I'm doing civil engineering.
And my name's Sam Gearhart. I was in the Air Force for 6 years, and now I'm a product design major.
Great, thank you. And I also served in the Navy, got out in 2013, made my way back through my education. My bachelor's is in social work, and I'm currently working on my master's here at Drexel in legal studies. So to kick off our panel, our first question, and so I want you to answer regarding the GI Bill that you're currently using or the chapter that you're currently using. If you are using one, what's the number one thing to remember? Anyone can start us off. Don't be shy.
So I think one of the most important things is obviously keep track of how much time you have left. If you're a STEM major, you get that 9-month extension for the Forever GI Bill. But also remember that because there is a co-op opportunity, that's one of the benefits of Drexel, is that if you're doing one of those opportunities, I think Brian mentioned this before, but make sure that you understand that you might not receive the same amount of benefits that you receive if you're using the GI Bill when you're doing your co-op opportunity. So if you're dependent on that income, make sure that you save up enough to have things like your car payment or rent covered.
I'd also say every quarter you have to reconfirm that you're going to be back in school, so make sure you stay on top of that, because if you don't confirm that you're back in school, then you can potentially miss your BAH, and that can obviously have detrimental effects to your financial situation.
Yeah, just one other thing also, just be aware when the first time I used my 9/11 GI Bill, I was at a different school, but it took a couple months for that BAH to kick in. So if this is the first time you're ever using that, I guess just plan ahead and be aware that it could be delayed, but you will get it.
And I'll jump on the train and add something too. If you have a disability rating, talk to the VA about getting yourself on vocational rehab. It's easy to do. You go on the website, and it's not much more than just clicking a box saying you're interested in a consultation. If you're eligible, it's more user-friendly and slightly better paying version of the GI Bill. And if you have any questions about your GI Bill while you're receiving it, head to Drexel Central immediately. Bryant and his crew will take care of you. They know more about it than some of the VA people you're going to talk to.
I'm here doing Chapter 31 VR&E, that's vocational rehab. Just to add on, if you are eligible for it, absolutely take advantage of it. Basically the government's sending me to grad school. I've already got my BA, and now I'm getting my master's, and so it's something it's an incredible benefit. If anybody's here eligible for it, definitely take advantage of that.
So some of you already mentioned that you had attended schools prior to attending Drexel. Is there anything that is different from your school that you'd like to share of the school you previously attended than Drexel, or what makes Drexel so different?
This is the first school that reached out to me. Veteran Services here reached out to me, and my alma mater didn't do that. I'm not going to talk bad about them. I'm not going to talk bad about any other schools I've been to, but Drexel really, really loves its veterans, its veteran students. They've been an amazing support to me.
So I got my previous degree online, so obviously Drexel is completely different. But one thing that is really awesome about it, what he was just saying, is the veteran community. I really suggest, if you're hanging out on campus waiting for the next class, go to the Veterans Lounge, meet who your other veteran students are, and because that way, you're new, you're going to probably have some dumb questions about where buildings are, or, whatever. If you're lost, they're a great resource. We're all there to help you. We'll just be hanging out as well, so definitely take advantage of that.
One other thing I also want to mention about kind of what makes Drexel a little different. Prior to going through my undergraduate degree, the college that I actually attended wasn't an uncapped yellow ribbon. We spoke a little bit about the yellow ribbon earlier, and to have an uncapped yellow ribbon at a university is such a weight off your shoulders. When it's capped, it's kind of like a first come, first served basis, so if you cap out at that dollar amount, you're getting a bill. Drexel is an uncapped, so no matter how many students come through the door, that if you're eligible, you get it. So that's something that changes your whole kind of school experience. So talk about some of the spaces that you go, that you like to study, hang out, where there are less distractions.
I would say that the Veterans Lounge is a kind of a mesh of everything, because sometimes it's a little distracting just because everybody's there, but it's mostly distracting because everybody gets along. We all hang out, we all like to talk to each other and kind of get to know one another and share experiences and everything. But the Vets Lounge is pretty big, especially in consideration from the old Vets Lounge that we had. So there's plenty of spaces for you to study, sit down, and really, grind out your homework, whatever you have to do. Realistically, I've been to other lounges, and there's nothing that I've seen that compares to that. I guess if you're really looking for something without any distractions, the library is your best bet, just because everybody's there doing the same thing.
I'll follow up the library thing. They have a quiet study area in the library where people won't even walk through. And I didn't find out about it until I've been here for 5 terms, because it's sort of tucked away on the second floor. So look out for that, and you'll find it. And that's a great place to just get in the zone and study. Another great place, I'm assuming half of you are going to be engineering majors, because that's just how veterans do, apparently. Case downstairs in the main building is a fantastic study space. It's comfortable. Some people say it's noisy, but it's like a computer server and an air conditioner running in the background, so that kind of white noise drowns out background conversations. I like it because it's cold, but bring a sweater. But comfortable chairs, probably the only study space with truly comfortable chairs, and a lot of space for group study and private study. It's my favorite spot to go.
I'm going to caveat off what Anwar said, and I've more or less become like a permanent fixture in the Veterans Lounge, and one of the reasons is that people like my age, like all my friends, they started getting married and having kids on purpose, and so it was, like I would, before the Veterans Lounge, I would come to school, go to class, and then come home and then have these long conversations with my dog, because that's the only friend I had left. So and then I found the Veterans Lounge, and then I was able to connect with other people, more or less my own age, but also had similar background experiences, and just people that I could start to hang out with on the weekends. So the Veterans Lounge is always something that I love talking about, love showing people, and the more the merrier.
So we touched on the library a little bit up here. What are some of the other resources, whether they be related to education or outside resources, maybe related to counseling? Is there anything that you've used that was extremely beneficial?
The Math Resource Center, I can't stomp on that enough. Being an engineering major and having that huge break from schooling, I'm 31, so obviously like the last time I saw math was when I was 18 years old. It was huge, huge, huge. So if you have any kind of math questions, issues, or just want to like kind of knock the rust off, 100% go to the Math Resource Center. The first couple of years that I was here, I practically lived there, and they have anything from graduate students to current professors to students that are around the same curriculum level that are going to help you out and kind of get you where you're trying to go. I can't emphasize that enough. The Math Resource Center was huge for me.
I'd say take advantage of the class center. I've used them in Center City. I go exclusively to Center City campus. And I'm 43 and a graduate student, so if you want to talk about the quarter system here, if anybody's been to a tech school in the military, the quarter system here is it's close to that. They're squeezing a lot of data into just a few weeks. So at the beginning of the quarter, hit the class center. If you have any proficiency that needs to be kind of regained with computer literacy or anything, that's what I've used, and you just get up to speed so that you can really excel, because the quarters are going to fly, like everything. I'm halfway through my graduate degree now, and I thought it was going to last forever, but I'm almost done.
Same.
I don't hear a lot of the vets talk about the writing center, but I hear a lot of the vets talking about how much they struggle with getting their papers out and making them coherent. The writing center is a fantastic resource for that, and if you want to tick them off, you can call it Comma Command, which I do to get under their boss's skin, but that's a separate thing. But if you're confident in your writing, they'll make sure your grammar is good so that you don't make your professor angry and get a bad grade. If you're not confident in your writing, they'll give you suggestions, because these are all people majoring in some sort of writing adjacent field, and they will help you with tech writing. They'll help you with a paper. They'll help you with a personal essay. Doesn't matter. Like if it's for Drexel, they'll help you make your writing worth an A. It's easy to get an A on a paper if you just put the time in, and they know how to put the time in. So it'll save you a week of your life stressing out about 3,000 words that these people will help you bang out in an afternoon. You just have to make an appointment in advance, unlike the Math Resource Center where you have to just walk in and demand calculus knowledge. And you also asked about counseling services. I think we've all seen some people fall short here because stress gets to them. We've got home stuff. We've got things left over from being in a frickin' war. Cohen Clinic probably provides the fastest care out of all the resources around here. If you walk over to them, I think they're 35th and Market, they'll see you within 48 hours of either calling or just walking in and asking for an appointment. And that's unprecedented for therapy or psychiatry anywhere, like not just in the US. And Headstrong provides really good long-term care. I haven't heard anybody mention them yet, but if you contact them, it's for veterans, it's completely free, and they'll get you in with a counselor or whatever you need to get yourself where you need to be mentally or emotionally, or just if you need somebody to talk to, because there's a lot of stuff that we're all going through here. We're all adults and we've all got a not traditional background. I myself have used both of them because we've all seen some stuff.
So the last thing I'd like to touch on, we heard from Brian and John in our financial aid office, and I think it's a common misconception that some veterans don't think that they're eligible for grants or scholarships because they're using the GI Bill. Have any of you qualified for grants or scholarships while using the GI Bill, and could you share a little bit about how you applied for them?
Read Rebecca's emails. She gives amazing stuff like that. And then also, yeah, just your FAFSA. It's really easy. It's a bunch of information, and then they give you money, which is pretty sweet. I think like this year for this quarter, it's like $1,300 for me, and I mean, my wife doesn't make that much money, and I obviously don't make any money, so it's definitely been a huge help.
If you like to write essays, like go out there and just spam as many 300 to 1,000 word essays as you can in your time off. Just make sure the scholarships pay cost of attendance, right? Because if it's a lot of them just go to tuition or expenses, and then Drexel's going to put that in their pocket, say thank you very much, and they can't legally give it to you. But if it says cost of attendance, you could put a couple extra grand in your pocket if you just take a day or three between every pair of quarters, and it's worth the effort. You know, I've put a couple $100 in my pocket already.
Yeah, there's a I'm not sure if there's a flyer, but I know at in Bryant's office, there's a list of scholarships that everyone's like veterans and reservists are actually eligible for. If you don't have it in the packet, I'd recommend stopping by the admissions office and picking one up. Actually, you know, it also looks good on like graduate school applications. There's one that there's actually some that you can apply for through the Drexel website. There's a merit scholarship, which the only thing you have to do is maintain a 3.0 GPA, and you can apply through that or apply for that online. And if you're having trouble with that, you just talk to your academic advisor. So that's what I've been doing with my advisors.
Also, the Scholly app that was created by a Drexel student, and it's simply a search engine for scholarships, and you tailor it to your needs and the type of person that you are, and it filters down and gives you some really great scholarships to apply for. So right now we're going to wrap up. If you have any questions, there are so many people here that are willing to answer them. Our panelists, please come up to me, say hi if you have a question. So let's give our panelists a round of applause. Thank you for your time.
Forward to having you have one-on-one chats with this panel. They are a wealth of knowledge, and they can probably unplug a little bit more when we have conversations over lunch. Our final speaker today is Dr. Brian Blake, and he is the Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and the Nina Henderson Provost. And Dr. Blake is our highest-ranking academic official here at the university. And I'm anxious for him to tell you a little bit about his background and also to give you a warm welcome as we transition into lunch. Dr. Blake.
So good morning, everyone. First, let me thank Rebecca and her staff for all they do for today and just throughout the year. They've been so supportive of our ROTC and our veteran students throughout my time here. As she mentioned, I'm provost at Drexel. That's a word that most people don't know, so I'm glad she gave it some preface. This is my 5th year at Drexel. I started as a professor in computer science at Georgetown. Gosh, I hate to admit to it, but I was there 10 years, and then I was at Notre Dame for 3 years, and Miami for 3 years, and this is my 5th year here. So I'm told I don't look like I have those ages, but I started as a professor when I was like 3 years old, so so it all works out. So it's just a privilege for me to welcome, our military-affiliated students and family members today. You've represented the absolute best for the country, and it's just exciting to have you represent among the best students that we have here at Drexel. Welcome as you start the new academic year. I don't know if you had a chance. This week to me is just so special because you walk around. Many of us have been working through the summer. Sometimes as we start the new year, the planning and strategic planning and all the operations become somewhat grueling. But when new students arrive, is just amazing. The energy that they bring to the campus is really refreshing. I know I was eating lunch with a group of freshmen the other day. I had a hamburger out in the in the Corman Quad, and just great to kind of hear their perspective and just understand how excited they are about coming in this year. So for us, this is a new beginning, and with that, exciting challenges and opportunities. As members of the military, I know you all have been trained and prepared for missions. We are now prepared here to carry out our mission with Drexel. So I don't think there's a better campus than ours to meet the needs of our student veterans. I'm proud that Drexel is the choice for more than 800 student veterans and more than 200 members of their families studying both on campus and online. So we get a lot of breadth of students that get the opportunity to take our classes either here or online. The ranks of our faculty, professional staff, alumni also include many women and men who have served and sacrificed proudly. We understand what it takes for our veteran students to be successful. Drexel's always been highly ranked as a veteran-friendly campus, and that's really no accident. I think we work really hard at it. We have very devoted staff that work to make sure that this is just a welcoming environment for all students, but certainly for our veteran students. In the major conflicts in the last century, Drexel played a pivotal role in education and supporting military research, and the university famously was known for staying open 24 hours during World War II as the home for the Engineering Defense Training Program and classes for Army Signal Corps. Drexel's Task Force Dragon ROTC Battalion has been active for decades. Drexel's are proud to be the only top 100 university in Philadelphia to participate in the Yellow Ribbon Program. I've had great experiences with our undergraduate ROTC battalion and corps. My wife and I have attended the military ball, I think 3 out of 5 years since I've been here. And, I'll be the first to be a witness that in addition to being great students and interacting with them at breakfast, they also have moves on the dance floor. So, so this is a great place to be. Our Office of Veteran Student Services is always ready to help with any questions, concerns, or issues you may have, and can assure you the time and energy you dedicate to earning your Drexel degree will be worth it. Our graduates go on to do many great things, from launching new tech businesses. You should know that we have a closed school of entrepreneurship. It's the only freestanding entrepreneurship school of its kind, and with that comes a great deal of opportunities, even entrepreneurship co-ops on campus. So it's just within the blood at Drexel to kind of have students who start things. We talk a lot about the value of Drexel education, because we happen to know that our graduates have a higher lifetime earnings. That's one of the things that really served us in our Times higher ed rankings, is that our students are always, 96% of our students are placed, and they get placed at higher salaries than a lot of our peers, even those that may be more highly ranked. We also pride ourselves on graduating individuals who want to improve their communities. So I guess 9 years ago, when President Fry started, he said during his convocation that he wanted this to be the most civically engaged institution in the country, and we've really showed that by what we do in West Philadelphia and through the Northeast region. So with that, I know this group gets that because you've made those sacrifices, you made those commitments to civic engagement society. But I do encourage you to take full advantage of all that Drexel has to offer. My best advice is to get involved, make friends, and build lasting networks. Even when I look back, I wasn't in the military. I actually went to military school in high school. But I know that the networks that were built in high school as well as college, they follow you throughout your life. So it's a really good opportunity now to kind of make sure. And it's easy to go back to your apartment, back to your dorm room, and not get involved in the events. But you never know. You may meet someone today that's going to be a person that that you're with for 30, 40 years. So it really does make sense to kind of put that additional effort in to try to get to know your peers. So each of you have a chance to gain a unique set of skills along with your degrees, your co-op placement. There's a great opportunity to learn and earn while gaining real-world experience, and that's really what separates us. Keep in mind that you are all part of something bigger, in combination with your peers, and already you're all leaders with special qualities, and we know that you're going to succeed here because you already have the grit, determination, the time management, the discipline, all those things that are going to make you very successful in the military also make you very successful here at Drexel. But it also takes teamwork and the support of others, including your fellow students, faculty, professional staff. That's why we're all here for you, to help. So make sure if you ever have problems, please reach out. I don't think you should wait a day if something's not working out for you. Reach out. Our office is really supportive to make sure that you have the best transition and engagement while you're here. So I really look forward to working with you all. As an academic head, I get the opportunity to kind of see our students. I get to celebrate your entry today. I get the opportunity to celebrate your commencement, a few years down the line. So certainly, it's great to celebrate your successes and your accomplishments as you move forward, and certainly keep us in the loop so we can be your biggest fans. Enjoy your day. I look forward to meeting many of you, and certainly enjoy the opening of the year. Thank you so much.
Was going to pull back up the PowerPoint here. Maybe not. Okay. So just quick announcement, during lunch, we have a lot of partners out there that are tabling. Go stop by and say hi. Some of the nonprofits we work with throughout the year, Team Foster, 4 Block, Bunker Labs. Some of them are here, some of them are not, but they're a lot of fun. They're veteran run. A lot of veterans get involved, not just at Drexel, throughout the city of Philadelphia, and it's a wonderful, they're wonderful activities to be a part of. Also, the Women's Veteran Multi-Service Center is out there. Drop by, say hi, visit their table, to learn more about their open computer lab, clothing closet, wellness, and fellowship events. As mentioned earlier, the last Wednesday of every month is Warrior Wednesday. So we do free pizza, wings, and beverages in the Veterans Lounge. We also hold the Drexel Veterans Association student body meeting. So that's going to be Wednesday the 25th. And we're actually meeting at the Rock Wall. So check us out on Facebook. Come out, climb with us, get to know everyone. It's a lot of fun. And then keep your eyes peeled for the Philly Esports event coming up in October. I believe they're playing Super Smash Brothers. It's going to be competitive. Philly Esports is also a veteran-run company, and they're a lot of fun to work with. If you like video gaming, if not, still come out. It's a really great time.
Okay, time for lunch. Go Dragons.